In this video, we're going to talk about why it's imperative that you begin to reduce your sugar consumption as soon as possible. Now, I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know, but we have an explosive epidemic of obesity and diabetes, not just here in the US where I live, but it's on a global basis. And again, I will cite some show notes below or some notes below that share with you the resources from the CDC and the different places where this information is readily available, not just for me, but for you too. So I'm just going to give you some stats here in the United States, and just know that with the exception of a few countries like Japan that comes to mind, these statistics are becoming more and more commonplace all around the globe. 36% of adults in the United States are obese. 67% of Americans are overweight, and sadly 18.5% of children here in the United States are also obese. I say sad because we are setting these kids up for a lifetime of unhealthy complications that they're going to experience with their health, and it truly is sad. 130 million Americans are currently living with diabetes, and that number grows rapidly year after year after year. Now, JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, states that with kids, there's a 60% increase in obesity with just one can of soda a day consumed by children. Think about that. Think about that when you're saying yes to what your child or grandchildren or children around you are going to consume. It's sad because our sugar consumption as adults in the US went from an average of 1 pound of sugar annually in the 1800s to today's 152 pounds per year in our current day. That is just staggering to me. It's just staggering. Ultimately, that means our body is producing an overload of insulin. And when your body doesn't know what to do with insulin, it's stored away in fat cells, creates more. And ultimately, that overload of insulin is what creates that belly fat, that resistant weight loss. It creates inflammation in our joints, and it does a host of harm internally very often that you don't see for years and even decades before it ultimately shows up and takes its toll on you. So that's why we're here today. Some questions to ask yourself: how healthy am I really? And how concerned am I about my health? Have I already received a negative diagnosis? Am I ready to take control now? Where do I see myself if I continue in the same path? Where do I see myself in 5 years? In 10 years, toward the end of my life? Do I want to go out bedridden, hooked up to all types of machines and taking tons of medications? Or do I just want to live to the very end, high functioning, with full flexibility and a strong cognitive brain? And if the answer to any of those doesn't suit how you really want to be, or if you say, yes, I want to take control of my health now, it's important to begin to ask yourself, what am I prepared to do to reroute my health to take me where I want to be? Now, if you don't have this entire series and you're not getting my ongoing emails with recipe and fitness tips and things that you can do to take back control, intermittent fasting tips and all of that, make sure you fill out the form below, get that guide, listen to it, go through the PDF, start collecting those recipes, start collecting those tips, and start doing what you can do today to reroute your health and live that life of longevity. I'm Jackie Ulmer. Thanks for listening.